Synergy Speaker Series. We have a great guest today. Jamarcus Winbush is here to talk to you about productivity and presentation. So without further ado, I'm going to pass the floor over to him. So welcome.
Who are you?
Stanley.
That's good, Stanley. That's good. You know your name. But what I really want to know is, who are you?
Fast learner.
Fast learner. That's great as well. What else about you?
Active.
Huh?
Active.
And what else?
Lots of other things I gotta
Lots
discover.
of other things, right? So we don't have those things listed, but we feel like we know who we are. Have you ever really stopped and gave yourself that question? Who are you? Why is it important? Because who you think you are determines what you'll do. If you think you're the next dancer, it's going to be a lot different. Your actions are going to be a lot different from if you think you're the next president. If you think you're the next Beyonce, your actions are going to be a lot different if you think you're the next Michelle Obama. So, who you are determines what you do. So, how do you really start to discover who you are? The first thing, you start asking yourself that question. What I want everyone to do right now is please cover your right ear. You're special. You have greatness within you. You have power within you that you don't even know. All right, you can take your ear down. Take your ear down. Now, the reason I did that so the information won't go through one ear and out the other. So now I know that at least before I leave, something is going to stick. So, how do you begin to tap into that greatness? How do you begin to unleash that special bond, that special feeling that you have within yourself? The people who tap into their greatness, they know one or two things. They know how to master their productivity and how to master their presentation. Can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
So, this story is about a young man who, he was traveling home one day. And as he began to travel, he noticed that someone was following him. So he noticed someone was following him, and he starts to panic. So he starts to walk faster. So he's walking faster. So as he continues to walk faster, the gentleman who was following was in a car. The car starts to speed up. So now he's walking faster. He's getting nervous. He's getting more nervous. And then he starts to turn, and the car will turn. He make another turn, and the car will turn. So eventually, he just panicked and started running. Now he's running, he's running, he's running. So he gets to this spot where he believes he's safe. But he notices that the car pulls up. And the gentleman hops out of the car. When the gentleman hops out of the car, he gets closer to the young man. And the young man panics. He gets closer, the young man panics. He gets closer, the young man panics. And then, so, productivity. How do you be productive? The most productive people in the world, the first thing they do is they set goals. Why are goals important? You're like, well, I hear this all the time. People keep telling me to set goals because people that aim at nothing hit nothing right on the head. If you don't know where you're going, how can you expect to be there? How can you expect to be there if you don't know where you're going? So goals are very important because when you set a goal, it gives you a drive. It gives you ambition. It gives you that work you need to keep moving forward. You want to be productive, you got to have a goal. So when you write that goal down, harness that goal. Read it every day. Give yourself that power of knowing what you're going to do when you wake up. Even when you come to class, you need to have a goal. Either I'm going to make an A, I'm going to make a B, I'm going to make a C, or I'm going to go to sleep. But at least you have a goal. At least you stuck to something. Repeat after me, please. People don't plan to fail.
People don't plan to fail.
They fail to plan.
They fail to plan.
I know. I remember walking out of a job and, man, forget this. I'm done. I'm tired of working with boxes. I'm tired of this. I'm just done. Had no plan, but I walked out. And I felt good when I walked out. 2 weeks later, I didn't feel good. 3 weeks later, I didn't feel good. No money, no income coming in. Nothing. And then you find yourself standing in the unemployment line. And you find yourself feeling miserable. And when you look around, all you see is people looking at you like you're nothing. All you hear is the negativity. And you start to doubt yourself. when you move forward in life, it's important to know where you're going. Think about this. If you're boarding a plane and the captain say, all aboard, we're just going to fly until we run out of gas. I don't know about you, but I'm parachuting. I got to go. You're not going to kill me. I got to go. You have to know where you're going. The next key is when you set a goal, you have to take action. I'm reminded of a story of this older gentleman. He would walk by his friend's house, and his dog would always moan. His dog would always moan like he was in pain. And he said, what's wrong with the dog? Well, he's sitting on a nail. Then why won't he just move? Because the nail is not hurting bad enough. How many people, show of hand, know people who complain, and every time you get with them, they do nothing? By show of hand, please raise your hand. Do absolutely nothing, but they will talk you. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to start a company. I'm going to do this. And then when you get over there, they're playing Madden. Right? They get over here playing video games. You're like, man, when are you going to start your dream? I'm going to start tomorrow. And then I'm going to start tomorrow. Then tomorrow never happened. One day. This is everybody's favorite quote. One day. If you ever see a calendar with one day on it, please give me that calendar. Because there's no such thing as one day. You need to be specific and ready to move when you're ready to take action. Take actions on your goals. Your goals are not going to jump off the paper and say, here's your life. This is what you want? You want to be a dancer? I'm Stanley. I'm the man. I got my shirt and tie. I'm starting my company. No, it's not going to happen like that. You have to take action. You have to move forward. After you take action, what happens when you do get determined? When you do say, I'm going to come to class, I'm going to study, I'm going to go home, I'm going to study, I'm going to pass the test, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Next thing that happens is distractions. Right? What are some of the most popular distractions today? Somebody help me out, please. Stanley, what are some of the most popular distractions today?
Phones.
Huh?
Phones.
Phones?
Friends.
Friends? Instagram?
Social media.
Twitter? Oh, social media? Here we go. This is how it happens. So Stanley goes home. Stanley's excited. Stanley said, I'm going to go home. I'm going to study from 6 to 9. So 6 o'clock come and the phone rings. Who is it? Hello? Hey, baby, what you doing? I'm studying. I'm studying from 6 to 9. Can I come over? Oh, yeah, you can come over. Then the notebook's closed, the book closed, and the chapter is over. It's done. Once you got distracted, it's done. This is what it needs to sound like, Stanley. Hello? Hello? Hey, baby, what you doing? I'm studying from 6 to 9. Can I come over? You got to get firm with this, Stanley. I want you to really get firm. You got to say, no, I'm studying. And then she's going to say, you never have time for me. You never spend any time with me. Then you got to say, I'm studying from 6 to 9. Then you say, but baby, can you please come over at 9:30? You got to give it in. Give it in after you get done doing what you have to do. So the most productive people in the world, they do 3 things. They have goals. They set their goals. They know where they're going. And then they take action. And they eliminate distraction. What's the second thing that the most successful people in the world do? They know how to present themselves. And when I'm talking about your presentation, I don't want you to just think about your attire, because that's only a small portion of it. I really want you to get into those emotions, because your emotions really control how you look. I can have on the nicest suit in the world, but if I come in here like this, so guys, you really need to have, what is that thing you wanted me to talk about? Goals. You really need to have goals. You're like, what's wrong with it? He depressed? Did his dog just die? Your emotions. Are you in a disempowering emotion or an empowering emotion? Are you depressed, sad, angry, frustrated, or do you empower yourself? Do you empower yourself with those empowering emotions like certainty? You got to get yourself certain. You know who you are, and what you're going to do. If I walk up to this young lady and I say, and I'm nervous, I'm really nervous. What's my name again? Oh, Jamarcus. My name is Jamarcus. I don't have a car. I have a bike. Would you like to go out? She's going to think, I don't know what's going on. But if I walk up to her and I'm certain, I say, look, I'm Jamarcus Rashard. I'm attractive, you're attractive. We got 2 options. You can go out today or tomorrow. She's going to say, oh, I like that. That guy's confident. He's certain with who he is. And that's what you have to do when you're going in for a job interview. Because when 2 people meet, if there's rapport, and there's certainty, the most certain person has the most influence. When you sit down, when you go in that job interview, you want to make that interviewer confused. He needs to think that you already have the job. He's forgotten that you're there for an interview. He's thinking you're coming in to ask for a new office. He's thinking you're coming in to ask for a new chair. he doesn't even know what to do because you're so certain that you're going to get the job. And that's how you have to approach it. When you walk in the classroom, when Mr. Ed see you, he needs to wonder, do I tell you to have a seat or teach the class? Because you got that look of certainty. You know who you are. You're ready to move. You're ready. You know exactly where you're going. I'm here for a purpose. Yep, I'm right here. You run into a wall, say, that's okay. Look, wall, we got 3 choices. I'm either going to go through you, around you, or over you. But I'm almost certain that I'm going to get through here. Because what I need is on the other side of that wall. And you can't stop me. You can't stop me. The next emotion that you have to master is, what a lot of people fail, what a lot of people cripple, you have to be comfortable with feeling uncertain. Because sometimes you get that feeling of certainty and things don't work out the way you want. Things don't work out the way you planned. I remember doing a talent show when I was in high school, and I thought I looked like LL Cool J. I was by far not LL. I had no abs, I had flaps. But anyway, in my mind, I was certain. So I was doing this talent show. I was a singer, so I was really singing. All I got is 15 minutes, and I was just singing. I was singing, right? So I get to the front of the stage because I'm certain. And I pull my shirt up because I saw the girls. I pulled my shirt up. And they said, ew. I said, ew. Can you imagine what they can do to a person? It didn't work out the way I planned it. I was going to pull my shirt up. I was going to win the talent show. The girls were going to give me their number. And I was going to be popular. It didn't work out like that. But then what do you do? What do you do? Do you stop?
You learn from it.
You learn from it and do what, Stanley?
Better.
Get better, because there is no failure. There is only feedback. A person's opinion of you is not your reality. Your biography is not your destiny. I don't care where you are in your life right now. If you really want to change it, you can change it. Surround yourself with people who want to change. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who encourage you, people who want to make a difference, people who are on your thinking level. Stay away from negative people. Because negative people, birds of a feather do what? They flock together. Birds of a feather flock together. You hang around with 9 broke people, I guarantee you, in less than a month, you'll be the 10th person. Because you're on their thinking plane. So when you're uncertain, feel comfortable, because things won't always work out. They won't. But you got 2 options, either keep going or stop. Option 1, you really don't know the outcome. But option 2, you do know. If you do nothing, you get nothing. Again, people that aim at nothing, hit nothing right on the head. It takes no effort to be a nobody. You want to be a nobody, say, cool, I'm a nobody. I just want to be a nobody. Right? You get you a sign, you stand on the street, say, look, homeless, please help. And then you rejoice when you get 25 cents because you may afford a pie or something. Or you might have a date for 25 cents. If you find somewhere to go for 25 cents, please invite me. Please do. The next thing, when your presentation, now we're going to get to your attire. You want to dress like a prospect, not a suspect. When you walk in, your clothes need to say something about you. Stanley, your clothes need to say something about you. When you walk in, know where you're going. You're going for a job interview? Have a shirt and tie. I remember I was going for this prestigious job. I really love this job. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Okay, I'll tell you. It was McDonald's, right? I was in college. I was going to work for McDonald's. You haven't had a Big Mac unless I made it. So, but anyway, I had certainty. I was uncertain as well, but I moved forward in our presentation. I tucked my shirt in. I was looking nice. I had our confidence going on. So when I get there, it was me and this other guy. And this other guy walks in. He walks in with his shirt long, had dreads in his head. He walking like this. So in my mind, I'm thinking, maybe he's just coming for a sandwich. He cannot possibly be coming for a job interview. So he walks in. He's still walking like, yo. This is him. This is him. Yo, I'm here for a job. You got an application? And at the time, they ran out of applications, so we had to write on these white sheets of paper. This is what he do. He gets the white sheet of paper and he said, this is BS. Y'all don't want me to have a job anyway. This is why I don't even come up here. This is why I don't even come up here. And I'm looking like, please leave, because there's less competition for me. Now, really, that's what happened when things don't go your way. People normally do 3 things. They blame circumstance. They say, if this wouldn't have happened, I would have made it. I would have been to work on time if the light would have turned green 3 seconds prior. Or I would have passed my test if the test was easy. And then they start blaming events. man, at that time when my mom needed to talk to me, I would have did it, but I didn't do it. They always keep the blame off themselves, and then they blame themselves. And when they blame themselves, they think they're doing themselves a favor. But when you continue to give yourself that guilt, you cripple yourself. You cripple yourself. Because you start to feel you're unworthy. You start to feel that way. And this man, he walked in. Now, someone help me now. Would you hire someone who walks in like this, grab your paper and say, this is BS? Show of hands. Somebody tell me who will hire him. By show of hands. Why wouldn't you hire him?
Me?
Yes, why wouldn't you hire him?
Because he didn't present himself the right way.
And you're looking for someone who can do what?
Who can present themselves and be respectful.
Stanley, you the boss and you walk out. You walk out. You want to know that people that you hire are capable of running the show, right? The people that you hire are competent. The people that you hire, when you're not away, they step up and say, yep, Stanley's gone, but I'm in charge. Anything you need, don't you contact my boss. He's on vacation. He's playing golf. Or he's playing ball with LeBron James. Wherever you may be, Stanley, I know you're important. You're from New York, so you might be with Jay-Z. I don't know where you may be, but you're important. So when your presentation comes, don't get so caught up in your attire. Master your emotion. Get certain. Get certain who you are. Be certain about it. And be okay with uncertainty. Be okay with not knowing how things are going to work out. Because sometimes they won't work out the way you want. The last thing, make sure you present yourself the way you want to be approached. And it'll make all the difference in your life. It'll make all the difference in your life. So, the man approaches and the young man, he's getting panicked. He'll panic. And the young man is still panicking. So the man gets closer, he gets closer. The next thing you know, they collapse. And they're fighting and they're tussling. And they're fighting and they're tussling. And they're fighting and they're tussling. And before you know it, boom! 17-year-old Trayvon Martin is dead. Trayvon Martin never had the opportunity to set goals again. Trayvon Martin would never have the opportunity to take action on his life. And when they asked George Zimmerman, and they said, why did you follow him? Why did you follow him? One of the things he said was, he looked suspicious. He looked suspicious. Your presentation, how you present yourself is so important. So I leave you with this. I leave you with these words of a great man. Choose not to be a common man. It is your right to be uncommon if you can. Seek opportunity, not security. Do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dull while having the state look after you. Prefer to take a calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. Refuse to live from hand to mouth. Prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the stale calm of utopia. Never cower before any master, nor bend to any threat. It's your heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid, and face the world boldly and say, this I have done. It's your life. The moment you take full responsibility for it, the moment you can have everything that you desire. Thanks for your time, man. It's Marcus.
So questions. You guys are all returning Synergy Speaker Series members, so you should have questions. And it can be about the topic coming up, or it can be about just something that you're wondering about. So you hear us 5 days a week. This is your one chance to get advice from Marcus and use it, please.
I got 2 questions.
All right, that's a lot.
Do you have an older brother?
I do. I have 2 of them.
Is one of his names Clayton?
No.
Oh, because I had in New York, I had a math teacher named Clayton, and he went to the army, and he would always, like, every time something like that happens, he would always talk about it in class, like how it made him feel, and you just act just like him, so I thought you was his brother.
I hope he's a good influence on
Nah, he was.
Yeah,
Oh, my other question is what I asked you before.
Who's that?
Some tips.
I tell you, the first tip is, what's your goal?
To get bigger.
You gotta be more specific. What's bigger? So, because bigger could be 1 pound and you're bigger. So when you set goals, you really want to be specific. I want to gain 15 pounds, or I want to gain 10 pounds. So when you set goals, that's one of the keys to setting goals. Be specific as possible, because you want to get bigger 1 pound. I say, well, go eat a hamburger. You get 1 pound. So the first key I give you, the first tip I give you is be specific. Know what you want. Visualize. I tell you, before I started working out, it was back in the 2000s. You know, I saw 50 Cent, and I visualized. I told my girlfriend at the time, I said, I'm going to be bigger than 50 Cent. I'm going to do it. So visualize what it is that you want. Get specific about what you want. And stay persistent. Persistency and consistency makes all the difference. I know a lot of people go to the gym, they go to the gym 3 days or even a month, and they say, I'm not seeing results. This doesn't happen in 1 month. Give yourself some time, but stay consistent and get the best strategies. You want whoever you want to look like. Role model them. Find out what they do and do it. If you plant the same seeds, you get the same results. So that's my advice. Did I help you?
Other questions?
I was just thinking, like, I don't know, I have a question.
What do you think about the story with presentation? Everyone knows the Trayvon Martin story, yes?
Yeah.
And so, thoughts on that, the presentation piece? Because you can make the argument, that shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter. How you're dressed, I mean, if you're not doing anything wrong, why should that matter?
I think how you dress shouldn't matter, like, at all. But the type of society we live in makes it matter. Because if you live in a society where there's barely any, like, any ghetto actions happening, and then all of a sudden 2 or 3 ghettos just moved in out of nowhere, and you have a different type of, like, you see the different perspective of how they live in, and other people start getting worried because you're not used to it. So then they start seeing all these different actions, they don't know how to react to it, and that leads to things like that. So I think because of the society, presentation does matter.
So, what I heard a bunch of things there. Number one, you may not 100% agree with it, but if you're aware of this is how it is, you got two opportunities. Two options. You can either say, I don't like it, and just ignore it, or okay, this is how it is, and so I don't like it, so I'm going to fix it. And in the meantime, I'm going to think on that as I'm going about my business, because I don't want to put myself in a tough situation that I don't need to be in. And so that's a hard thing, because that doesn't mean you agree with it. That doesn't mean that's how it should be. But you're taking charge. In that first piece, the productivity piece, Jamarcus had a bunch of quotes that I wrote down that are fabulous. But one thing that really jumped out with me as thinking about productivity, the idea that people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. And when we talk about being productive, if you do not have a plan, you heard that over and over again this week and in past weeks, we have to have a plan. And our plan may be to save the world. And we may want to make a profound impact. Fabulous. I want everyone in the room to feel that that's their goal in some way, to leave your mark on this world. But that's a large goal. And so short term, I want to be bigger. I want my muscles to look half that size. So tomorrow I'm not going to just be able to go to the gym and that's going to happen. You know, you asked that question. It's going to take weeks, months. So I might make a really short-term goal that's going to help me get there, and that allows me to keep on pushing so that I do reach that long-term goal, that I do leave that mark on this world. What's one thing someone in the room wants to be brave that, hey, I want to be more productive next week, so I'm going to do this. After listening to this talk, I know that it impacted me, and this is how I'm going to be better next week. I'm going to be more productive.
And you can be specific. You set goals, emotional goals. You can set a physical goal. What's your physical goal? Maybe I do 20 push-ups a day. All right? You can set a financial goal. I'm going to save $5. I'm not going to buy a Big Mac. Unless I'm working at it. But no, I'm not going to buy a Big Mac. So set a goal. Right now, my thing is never leave the sight of setting a goal without taking action. So set a simple goal. Don't start so large. Just set a simple goal. For the next week, I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. and I'm going to read 10 pages. For the next week, set some personal goals. For the next week, I'm not going to argue with my sister. I'm not going to argue with my brother. I'm not going to argue with my parents. What are your goals? And then you start to gain momentum. The more and more you accomplish goals, you start to gain more momentum. And you just keep going. And then your goals start getting larger. Then you start feeling you can conquer anything. Because you started small. So what's a small goal that if you took right now that can make a difference in your life? Just a small goal.
Come to school every day.
Come to school every day. Someone else. Not
Yeah.
being so mad. Now, the next thing I want you to do when you set a goal, what I want you to do is why.
So,
How would not being so mad benefit you?
It will benefit me by not making bad decisions, such as like arguing with my parents and like destroying like the house furniture.
Now, go deeper. I want you to think even more. What does it cost your family financially when you destroy furniture?
$800 a month.
$800. Now, what does it cost them emotionally to see their daughter destroying their furniture, the person that they love dearly? I really want you to think about it. I really want you to think about what they think. What is it costing them? And what is it costing you? That $800 could have went on something that you really want. Something that could help you move to the next level. See, it's not enough to say, I just don't want to be angry. You got to get to the specifics. Get real with yourself. The more specific you are, the more truthful you are with yourself, you get the real answers. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So when you set a goal, what I want to know is why. Why do you want it? And what will happen if you don't get it? What will happen if you continue right now to stay angry? Say a year from now, you just continue to make decisions out of anger. What will happen?
Well, if I continue to be angry after a year from now, I won't be able to qualify for the exams. They won't want to invite me, destroy the house. I probably won't get allowance, probably won't get a job, or get a bigger job.
And how would that make you feel? If you don't get those things, how would you feel?
I feel like I changed as like a different person in that way, instead of a little bit, like I wanted to.
Anyone else with the role? I would really love to do one more.
To go to college and graduate and be successful.
So that's your long-term big picture. How about your attendance this week? How many days were you here? It's your birthday, so I can't pick on you too much on your birthday. How was your attendance this week?
I came to school all week, but I need to get up earlier because I come to school late a lot.
So you want to get to college. So I keep it here loud and clear. It is a short-term goal for you. You were late this week. What's something you could set for next week to communicate to yourself and to others that this talk made an impact, but more importantly, you've chosen to be the solution?
To get off my phone at night so I can go to sleep early so I can wake up on time for school.
Right.
And set an alarm to wake up.
And that's doable. That's you just deciding, all right, I gotta go. Bye. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye. That's hard, but you control that. And now it's done, and now you wake up on time. You're here every day on time, and you're doing great. And now that's 1 week, and it becomes 2, and now 5, and then 10. And wow, now you're applying to colleges, and you're getting scholarships. You're able to handle the college load because you've practiced it the last semester and a half of your high school career.
I thought you was going to say something.
How about this quote? That was another one of my favorites. There's no such thing as failure. There's just feedback. Who feels like they failed at something today or this week? Okay, someone who hasn't, Dan, you haven't spoken yet, so let's hear. What's your failure this week?
My failure this week? It's a personal thing. I don't think I want to say it
fair
out
enough.
loud.
That's fine. Caitlin, do you want to share?
My
Say it again.
Go to a drink with my friends.
That was your failure? You didn't make it. So you could say, oh man, I'm done, I can't do this anymore, I missed it this week. Or what's something else you can do? You've recognized it, so you're ahead of the game. I come across a lot of people, there's a problem, they haven't yet identified it as a problem, so they can't get that feedback, they can't find a solution. What's your big takeaway? I shared two things that stood out to me. On the way out, if you wanted, obviously, Marcus did a fabulous job, but what's the one or two things he said that you're going to be thinking about this weekend, that you're going to be thinking about the rest of the year, that has made an impact on you?
You didn't play the failure, you felt the pain.
Say it again?
You didn't play the failure, you felt the pain.
Making goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say setting goals.
Presenting
better goals,
yourself.
Short-term goals turned to long-term goals.
more reasonable goals.
You guys are teaching AP. Mr. Figueroa, you're out of the job next week. No, you guys are hired to teach the 5 sections, but everything I heard many of you just saying all at the same time was exact. I mean, you heard loud and clear this message. And quite frankly, Ed has a great week of activities planned. Friday, when your peers get to see this talk, I think how it's impacted you, it's going to have the same impact on them. So make sure you tell them, building up to Friday, be here every day.